You ever walking along and just like, oh man, my hip, it just feels so tight, it feels really horrible. Well, I'm gonna show you two ways that you can fix this almost instantly. So try both of them and see which one works for you, because oftentimes when our hip feels like that, it's because the joint is compressed. Now let me show you what I mean by that, okay? Over here, you can see, this is the hip. All these muscles right here attach from the lower back into the lower leg. And these muscles really support your hip in doing all kinds of stuff like externally rotating, internally rotating, extending, flexing, all these different motions, right? But when your hip is in pain, those muscles tend to clamp down to try and protect your hip. And then we end up walking, like this, where we're using our core muscles to walk and stuff like that. But the reason is this: when those muscles tighten down, it takes this part of your bone of your hip and shoves it down inside the hip socket, because all these muscles are pulling against it. And then all of a sudden we start moving our hip and it feels really tight, it feels like pinchy, it feels really horrible. And so what we wanna do is we wanna create space in the hip joint. And we're gonna do that in two ways. One, we're gonna loosen up those muscles using a simple self-massage technique I'm gonna teach you. And two, we're gonna create traction in that hip after we loosen up those muscles. And you can do both of these from the comfort of your own home, okay? So to start, I'm gonna show you how to loosen that hip up using a simple massage ball. Now, if you don't have one of these massage balls, you don't have to go out there and buy fancy massage ball. You can just go to Amazon.com and order one of these things for $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, and it's gonna serve you for many years to come. And this is great because you don't always wanna go to a physical therapist or a doctor or a massage therapist to be able to loosen your body up. You want some tools there for yourself. And this tool right here will allow you to loosen up many areas of your body very quickly, which is incredibly helpful, okay? So for the hip, what we wanna focus on is this. We're gonna focus on starting by the tailbone, rolling up and around the hip, all the way to the edge of the hip. So if I show you on Skelly here, we're gonna start with this being next to the tailbone, and we're gonna roll out the muscles that come around the hip and to the side of the hip like this. And how we accomplish that is this: we put the massage ball down on the ground, and we start by sitting on top of it where that tailbone is right there, to the side of the tailbone. Now, start by straightening your leg and slowly rolling your way up. We wanna just go up an inch or so, back a half inch or so. So we're just trying to make 2 steps forward, 1 step back, slowly finding a spot that feels like it's extra tight. Now, once we find a spot where we go, whoa, oh, there is definitely a knot right there, what we do is we pause, we take a deep breath in into our bellies, we let that go, we try to relax that muscle. It can also help sometimes to just kind of oscillate back and forth like this, a little bit of shaking, or even to turn the foot out, turn the foot in, and go back and forth like this, rotating that leg to loosen that up. Now, you might find several knots along the way as we start to come to the outside of the hip, so pause at each one and try to loosen them up more and more. From there, you can come down to your elbow as you start to roll to the outside of your hip. You keep going until all the way to the point where you get all the way to the outside of your hip, and spend about 5 minutes or 10 minutes on this, finding those areas of your muscles that are really tight and just sitting on them and allowing them to relax and loosen. Now, this may be really uncomfortable at first, so you don't have to go super long at first, but over time, it will get easier and easier and easier to relax those knots, and it will make those muscles relax and make your hip feel a whole lot better. Now, after you're done with the massage ball, what you can do is create some traction in the hip, so creating some space in the hip socket. My favorite way to do that is real simple. You got to step on some sort of step. It could be a step in your house. Oftentimes we all have books, things like that we can use. But step on a box or a book or whatever is about 3 or 4 inches off the ground, anything that allows you to dangle that leg. Now make sure you're next to a wall for support, whatever you need for some extra balance. And all you're gonna do is for 1 minute, just kind of shake the leg out like this. Imagine somebody's pulling down on your heel. We're trying to create space and traction inside the hip as we kind of shake our leg out like this. You can go front to back, you can play around with a little bit of side to side. Just try to loosen it up and create that space inside the hip capsule. Now once you're done, come off of there and take a few steps and realize, wow, I was only a few moves away from feeling better in my body. Because when you move your body better, you feel better in your body. Now, if you like these tips, well, guess what? We do live coaching calls every single week for our WeShape members, along with personalized at-home workouts and even follow along recovery stretching routines as well. If you want to try WeShape out, jump on a live call with me and have me help you feel better in your body. All you have to do is click the link below and check it out.